I'm Grayson, and this whole thing is about the dumbest mess I've ever put myself in. I was dating this girl, Addison. We'd been together for 2 years, living together for 6 months. On paper, it looked like a win. She was pretty. She had that magnetic personality where every room seemed to light up when she walked in, and she could make even a boring Tuesday night feel like something out of a movie. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I hit the jackpot at first. The first couple months were smooth. She was funny, affectionate, and yeah, she had that girlfriend experience down pat. She'd make breakfast sometimes, drag me out to social events, brag about me to her friends. I remember thinking, okay, this could be long term, but there was always a shadow hanging around. His name was Luke, 27, male, her ex. And before any guy even asks, no, I didn't miss the red flags. I saw them. I just thought I could outclass him by ignoring it. Big mistake. Addison gave me the classic lines early on. Luke and I go way back. We've got too much history to just cut him out completely. He's more like family now. Sure, family. The kind of family that sends you up, texts at midnight. Totally wholesome. One time, I actually asked, half joking, so if he's family, does that make Thanksgiving dinner weird? Should I bring him mashed potatoes or a restraining order? She rolled her eyes and said, "You're overthinking it." Of course, because clearly, the issue was my brain cells working too hard, not her ex still orbiting like a clingy satellite. At first, I told myself not to overthink it. I'm not the jealous type, and I've always hated those dudes who freak out every time their girlfriend's phone buzzes. You know, the one sweating bullets at a group dinner because some guy from work liked her photo on Instagram. I wasn't going to be that clown. So, when Addison would get a late-night text from Luke or hop on a quick call, I'd brush it off. She'd roll her eyes and say, "Relax, he's just checking in." Yeah, checking in, like he's her parole officer. But checking in turned into always around. Guys don't accidentally orbit like that unless they're testing doors to see which one's unlocked. I should have deadbolt the social door right there. But, for a while I did relax. I told myself, don't be the jealous idiot, Grayson. Play it cool. Be the guy who trusts his girl. Meanwhile, I'm practically handing out guest passes to my relationship like it's a public swimming pool. Here's the thing about letting little stuff slide. It adds up. Luke had this weird habit of just happening to be around, like we'd be at a bar with friends, and boom, there's Luke. "Oh, I didn't know you guys came here," he'd say. Like we'd all just time traveled back to 2008 and ran into him at a mall food court, right? Totally normal for your ex to show up at the same dive bar every other weekend. Sure thing, buddy. Then came the group settings. Friends hanging out, game nights, movie marathons, you name it. It was like Luke had VIP access to Addison's calendar. The guy would slide into the seat next to her like it was assigned seating, laugh at all her jokes like she was headlining a Netflix comedy special. And then he'd throw out these little comments like, "Remember when we used to come here?" Stuff only meant for her ears, but loud enough for mine. It wasn't subtle. That wasn't nostalgia. That was territory marking. Guys don't say, "I remember when," to stroll down memory lane. They say it to remind you there was a time before you. Like he's senior staff, and I'm the unpaid intern still learning where the stapler is. Addison, of course, shrugged it off every single time. "That's just Luke," she'd say, like it was a weather forecast. "Oh, don't mind him. Just a 70% chance of ex-boyfriend showers later tonight." I'd bring it up and she'd laugh, this little dismissive chuckle that worked like a reset button. Every time I raised the issue, boom, she hit the laugh, and suddenly the whole thing was off the table. Topic tossed like a penalty flag. Picked up, no foul. That's how small stuff becomes normal. Meanwhile, I'm watching this dude orbit her like a lost planet, trying to get pulled back into her gravity. And she was letting it happen. I let it slide because I thought Addison was worth it. I thought she'd eventually draw the line herself. I told myself I didn't need to waste my energy on some washed-up ex. That was mistake number one. Luke wasn't just hanging around. He was testing boundaries like a raccoon, checking trash cans for weak lids. And Addison? She was either too blind or too selfish to care. Then came the night where the mask slipped. Addison and I were sitting in the living room. Nothing dramatic, just a regular weeknight. She put her phone down, looked over, and asked casually, too casually, "Hey, do you mind if Luke comes over sometime just to hang out?" I didn't even blink. No, not happening. Her face tightened like I just canceled Christmas. She sat up straighter, voice sharper. "Luke will be here whenever I say so, and you'll just have to live with it. We have long history." Now pause right there. Any guy hearing this, imagine your girlfriend saying that with a straight face, like her ex is just going to be chilling in your living room. Put his feet up on your coffee table, maybe grabbing a beer from your fridge because she says so. That's not a red flag. That's the full parade, marching band, baton twirlers, clowns, and fireworks display all at once. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because the audacity was Olympic-level insane. Then I told her flat out, "No, not happening. He doesn't come in my house. You want to see him? Fine. Coffee shop, park bench, bus stop, DMV waiting line. Heck, rent a storage unit for all I care. But not here. This is my house. And around here we play by my rules." She looked at me like I just kicked her dog, and then lit her Pinterest board on fire for warmth. "You're being ridiculous, Grayson. Luke's part of my life. If you can't accept that, maybe you're not cut out for a serious relationship." I smirked. "Serious relationship? Addison, you're trying to turn my apartment into a timeshare. That's not serious. That's stupid. And if Luke is really that sacred to you, then fantastic news. The door works both ways. You're free to pack your bags, waltz out, and continue your little history project. Think of it as museum work, preserving fossils." Her arms crossed tight across her chest, the universal sign for brace yourself, incoming nonsense. "Wow, you're really going to act threatened by a guy I dated years ago. That's pathetic." "Threatened?" I laughed. "No, see, I'm not threatened. I just don't let leftovers eat at my table." She scoffed, her voice going up an octave like she was auditioning for a soap opera. "You're so controlling. You want to decide who I can and can't see." "Wrong again," I said, shaking my head. "You can see whoever you want, just not from my couch while they're holding my remote." Her face twisted like she'd just bitten into a lemon. "You're twisting this to make me the bad guy, like I did something wrong." "Did something wrong?" I leaned in a little, smiling. "You're literally inviting your ex into my home, and then acting like I'm the problem for noticing. That's not a relationship, Addison. That's a circus. And Luke's your clown." Her eyes narrowed into slits. "God, you're such a jerk. Do you ever hear yourself? You sound paranoid." "Paranoid?" I tilted my head. "Nah. Paranoid is putting tinfoil on the windows and waiting for the government to read your thoughts. This is just me setting boundaries. You wouldn't know what those are if they smacked you in the face." She threw her hands up like she was surrendering to the cops. "God, you're acting like some landlord instead of my boyfriend." I smirked. "Funny, because right now you're acting like a tenant who stopped paying rent, but still wants perks." That shut her up, her lips pressed into a thin, angry line, the kind of look you'd expect from someone losing an argument they thought they'd win. Finally, she stormed off to the bedroom and slammed the door like a teenager grounded from Wi-Fi. I sat there on the couch, shaking my head. At the time, I thought I'd shut it down. I thought she'd cool off and realize I wasn't budging on this one. But here's where I underestimated just how messy Addison really was. That wasn't the end of it. Not even close. That was just round one. And Luke? He was only getting started. So it was a Saturday morning. The kind of morning you plan to do nothing but enjoy the peace you earned. I'd just gotten back from the gym, drenched in sweat, headphones still in my pocket, thinking about a hot shower and maybe some gaming. I open the door, step inside, and instantly my stomach twists. Luke on my couch, feet propped up on my coffee table, like he just claimed it in the name of Spain. Remote in one hand, shaker bottle in the other. My shaker bottle full of my protein powder that he clearly just scooped out like he owned stock in it. He grinned at me like I was the intruder. "Hey, man," he said casually. Not a hint of shame. "Addison said I could hang out." That's when my brain did that record scratch thing. Imagine walking into your own apartment and finding the one guy you specifically banned sitting there like it was his second home. My name's on the lease. My money pays for everything in that place. And yet here he is, looking way too comfortable, like he's 2 minutes away from asking me to grab him a beer from my own fridge. I glance toward the kitchen, and sure enough, there's Addison making coffee like this is just any other Saturday morning. No guilt, no shame, just vibes. Like, oh, did you not want your unwanted house guest guzzling your supplements? Weird. What the hell is he doing here? I asked, loud enough to cut through whatever fantasy sitcom world they thought they were living in. Addison barely looked up, calm as a surgeon.